at Winners Finals, SNC versus Jet. This should be a pretty good set. These are probably the top two players in Australia right now. So let's go into game one. Actually, before I do that, let's make it all nice and proper, like that. And now let's actually get into it. So here we are with game one. What do you think of this this particular stage in this matchup?
Well, I'm not sure. I think Rasta can make great use of the top platforms and stuff, of having a lot of platforms to move it around and, you know, just set up slipstream in different ways, situations. Just gives more variability to the Rasta. I know, that's what Boston's, they're pretty standard, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true. I think here the two platforms in the center can make controlling center stage very interesting, very kind of dynamic as well.
Yeah.
Right, so we see SNC over here, 90% already. Jet going for the up B, which he's quite renowned for, getting those cheeky up Bs just in the middle of neutral, out of nowhere it can seem like sometimes. Okay, he's up in the air.
And yeah, he's gonna try to look to edge gun. Nice pillar and a good tech from Jet, so simply covering and using that pillar to pressure the recovery of Jet. Great DI there, surviving the rock shot. Oh
no! Almost got the kill.
That was quite tragic, yeah.
But unfortunately not. Alright, so SNC indeed getting the first stock. Coming back to that pillar point you brought up previously, I think it's interesting to see the different Krags in Australia and how they try to utilize pillar and neutral. You'll see some Krags not use them very often, and some others kind of like Fell use them very often to try and get some hits in and try to kill you off the top. Of course, it's nowhere near guaranteed or true, but sometimes it'll catch you out by surprise, especially in high pressure situations, and then you can just get killed off the top quite easily.
Yeah, it is a kind of do what works, really. Like it might be a bit not sanity's pillar that much, kind of like how Fell does, but if it does work, then use it and use it to your advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
Both players here are playing a very intense neutral. SNC staying on the platform, which is just down there, dashing back and forth.
I think in this matchup, you do actually have to be quite careful in how you choose to approach, because as Krag, Rasta can just combo you for days. But as Rasta, Krag can just kill you off of, not a lot really. You can be off stage and then Krag can just follow you up, try and pressure you with stuff like Fair. And especially with Rock, if Krag is at a distance and able to pull out Rock, that can be very scary for the Rasta.
Yeah.
Ooh, very close game right now.
Yeah, indeed, and Jet making the best of his high percent. Both players will need to stop in Jet really high, can die to probably fail or something like that. He's really racking up the percent on but
just a nice cheeky up smash. Love it.
Great stuff.
Yeah, and right there, Jet going with the parry, expecting the side B and getting a clean up B punish to secure that stock. It's such an even game at this point.
It really is, yeah.
Alright. SNC making it back on the stage, trying to contest center stage right now. With how fast Jet can be, especially in slipstream, trying to control center stage is crucial. Because if Jet gets in, it's very hard to try and reset back to neutral, because he will be in your face. And especially in online environments, it's hard to react and do other stuff that you might be able to do online. And so that kind of reduces the amount of defensive tools available to you.
Yes, definitely.
Ooh,
and even game, but yeah, another clean roll from SNC.
Not quite sure if that was like a read or what was going on there, but it worked out. And we are going to be going to game 2. So we'll see if Jet can come back from this. We've seen in the past with Jet and SNC that SNC might come up a few games and Jet will start coming it back, and it's really all about momentum and how far these players can push it. So let's go into game 2 over here and see if Jet can respond. So we've got a larger stage choice here, and this would have been chosen by Jet. So
by Jet, yes.
What do you think about this stage?
I mean, once again, the variation of platforms, like you have medium platforms and you have high platforms, gives a lot of places, I guess, to start combos from. But then it also gives Crag the platform to stay on to control the stage. So I don't know, it's kind of a trade-off. I guess Jet is really comfortable using platforms. Most definitely he is. I guess
Oh yeah, that's so true.
The remark of the stage.
Jet's movement in general can be very spicy. It's
Indeed.
clear that he's definitely put a lot of time into trying to grind out all of these things. And movement is incredibly important in this sort of game as well. So,
yeah, definitely. Being pretty much the only defense you have, initial no shields or grabs like that at all.
yeah, exactly. And so your main defense in this game is just going to be trying to maneuver away from your opponent and try to bait out certain attacks and then punish the end lag of that, as opposed to holding down shield and all of that sort of stuff like you'd see in other Smash titles.
Yeah, definitely. It was a nice retreat by SNC with the down B trying to give himself some space to pull that rock, and yeah, that rock ends up giving him the rest of the stage. Jet retreating back at that was a very nice play by SNC using down B in that situation.
Ooh, okay. So, oh my god, okay. That was a bit intense right there. And you do see Jet sometimes just chilling in the center platform or on platforms and waiting to see what you're going to do. And a number of players will just kind of get impatient, get bored, and just kind of mindlessly approach. And Jet is great at capitalizing on that sort of stuff.
Most definitely. He's using down to try to swipe SNC out of the stage with the rock. And it's pretty nice to be doing. Not many players will just try to get rid of rock or maybe just leave rock alone, but Jet actively trying to use Crag's rock against them. What do you expect from a top player, really?
I think rock is definitely interesting in this matchup because you've got to be very careful with how you deal with rock, especially against a Crag who knows what they're doing with rock. Of course, if you're versing a Crag that doesn't really think too much about rock and always throws it at you, it's not as big of a deal. But even stuff like having a rock in between you and your opponent Crag, that leads to all sorts of stuff. Like, they might bait you into creating rock shards and they parry that. And even if you parry them back, they've got invulnerability frames. And
most definitely.
You've got basically nothing. You're locked in place while you're parrying them. And you've also got to be careful with rock on platforms as well, because it's not just an opportunity for Crag to pick it up and throw it at you again. It's also an opportunity for you to like tech at the top, or for the Crag to tech at the top as well.
Most definitely.
And so,
nice. SNC taking game 2.
Yeah,
that's quite a lead already.
Very deep in conversation there.
yeah.
Now the question is, it's looking, I wouldn't say it's looking super convincing. So we have seen situations before where Jet has been down 2 games and has managed to bring it back. So we'll see if he can manage to do it again this time. Let's go into game 3 right here.
Yeah. And
do you see a much smaller stage here?
Yeah, much smaller stage.
What do you think Jet might have been thinking of when he chose the stage?
I don't know. I think Jet liked the stage from previous times playing with them. I don't know. Maybe it's probably once again having the platforms set up, a top platform and a bottom platform, but the asymmetry might help a bit, I guess.
I think how far the blast zone is from the actual platform makes it quite interesting and dynamic in this matchup, especially if the Crag you're versing likes to try and pillar out and high up. That can make it a lot easier to try and gimp them. Because you have a lot more room to work with without actually hitting the blast zone.
Most definitely. Ooh. And yeah, Jet managing to go with the strings that lead off the stage and put Crag in a bad situation definitely could be utilized more heavily in this stage.
And going back to what we were talking about with rock before, you will see SNC here pulling out rock and leaving them on platforms, and then just kind of going back into neutral. And later on, when he finds an opportunity, he'll go back and make use of aerials or tilts to throw out rock shards in the direction of the opponent. And that can be especially good if the opponent is in the air, because if they're in the air, they can't really parry.
Yeah, they can't parry, yeah.
And if they get hit by the shards, SNC is great at capitalizing off of that into all sorts of confirms and just huge punishes. Interesting pillar from SNC over there. Oh, got a combo from Jet coming up.
Yeah. I mean, pretty even. Crag dies early, but I don't know. With one of Rass's combos, could really ruin a Crag's day, you can say.
Yeah,
not
precisely.
in the best position. But SNC is managing to rack the percent back up, and Jet is approaching his kill percent there as Rass. Like I said, the bird dies early.
Ooh, okay, getting that bear doesn't quite kill. Good DI from Jet.
That's another thing that's good with this stage. Seeing that Rasta dies pretty early, having long blast zones where Jet can actually combo you off, whereas when he gets sent off stage, he's got a longer way to travel, so he ends up dying not as early as on other stages.
That's very true. So both players trying to get control. Jet making great use of controlling center stage just to try and pressure SNC to go off stage. That was an unfortunate SD.
Yeah, very unfortunate from SNC.
You know, stuff like that, it's going to happen sometimes. You know, you just got to go with it.
Yeah, and both these players have the mental capacity definitely to overcome a silly SD that might happen in game and can definitely make a comeback from it, most definitely.
Ooh, okay, nice up here. It's back to like an even game. It could be either person's game right here. In fact, this could be Jet's final stock in this set.
Definitely.
Ooh, okay. Jet waiting nice and patiently on that platform. Jet can be very scary when he's on platforms in that general height, where it's not too high, where it's not too low, because then he can do all sorts of stuff with plat drops and dashing straight off. And the area that he covers when he's on there is very scary, especially once he gets slipstream going. And right there.
That was a nice bear to catch the jump out.
Yeah. Jet is
incredible.
not afraid to go off stage and try to catch you out. Ooh,
and
okay.
There it is.
We do see a game coming from Jet over here. This is what I mean. Jet, even if he's down 2 games, he can always take it back. And so that's something you have to be definitely concerned about. It's the same thing with SNC as well. He can be down 2 games, and then he might just start bashing you up. And it's like, what happened?
I've seen, I think both players make comeback like in grinds where they come back from the loser's side and it's going 2-0 and then they 3-2 them, and then the next game, the bracket reset, they go 3-0, which is just insane. The amount of
it's
patience
absolutely
on
crazy.
These players. Yeah.
And the thing to note with these players as well is that they will actively adapt, not just in between games, but actively during games as well, which makes it very scary. And they will use all sorts of baits and mind trickeries to try and get you into a position where you don't want to be in. Let's take a look at game 4 over here.
Yep.
And we do see Tower of Heaven. Oh dear.
Oh no.
Okay, and this is the game where SNC thought there was some sort of issue with DSR. So let's take a look at the next game.
Yep.
Actually, give me 1 second, stream. I have got the wrong replay over here.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is not what you want to be seeing.
Technical difficulties.
Oh boy. Okay, this should be fine if you give me 1 moment. Okay.
But anyway, yes, I'm excited to see what game 4 will encompass. Jet already, making that comeback off the 3rd game. We'll see how things go for them, because most players can adapt quite easily, and if SNC will adapt further, it will be back to 3-1 with SNC winning. So I guess quite evenly matched.
All right. Got the replays again, and let's take a look again. Well,
it is what it is. It's okay.
It was bound to happen. Let's see. That's fine. That's fine. All right. I think I have the replay. Let's take a look.
Okay. Let's take a look.
The actual game 4.
Right.
Okay, it's looking better. Okay, we're back in it, ladies and gentlemen. Game 4 of Winners Finals. Okay, so with Tower of Heaven, this was obviously SNC's counter pick. What do you think he likes about this sort of stage?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I've seen many crags actually choose the stage, and I don't know the reason why. I'm guessing probably to do with nice symmetrical platform layouts. Like, I know Fel really likes the stage because of the pillar shenanigans he can pull off with the top platform and just the stage control with the platform. And with the middle opened up like that.
And not just pillar shenanigans as well. That top platform there, speaking of Fel, who is a New Zealand player for those who aren't in the Australian community, he will kind of sit at the top platform there and just spam down B, essentially, and get those all those out, like what we saw there.
Definitely. And with that recovery that the SNC just pulled off there, that was incredibly smart. It's just a knowledge of this man with his rock shot angle, sitting on the pillar, using up tilts to direct the shards into Jet, who was looking to edge guard, and making it back to stage. But yeah, it really shows how good these players are.
Very nice way from Jet into a nice conversion. That's exactly what you want to be seeing, and that is what Jet will do. That's what makes it so scary to go against Jet, because off of one stray hit, if you're at a high enough percent and he follows your DI, he can just kill you off the side or off the top, and he can do it consistently as well.
Yeah, definitely. Jet is really a powerhouse when it comes to combo ability, and it's a player that's extremely good at reading DI and reacting accordingly. Already put SNC on 120%. He's on his third stock. This does not look good for SNC, and yeah, there it is. The pressure caught off.
This is going to be a Game 5 situation. Oh boy, let's see if SNC can get it back together and try and clean up for winners finals. Switch over to here so that you can't see all the replays, and then let's go into Game 5 with Air Armada. So I think this stage is definitely interesting. What makes this stage very unique is the fact that the walls don't extend all the way to the bottom, and so that makes certain janky gimps really potent on here. It's not so effective with every character. Some characters like Forsburn, for instance, can just bypass it entirely and just teleport to the stage.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think these platforms at the very top, at the very edge, definitely make the dynamics of neutral very interesting. Because getting up to those platforms, you can't just jump and hit them. You have to really commit to a double jump or something else.
Yeah, definitely. And if Krag has his rock around with the shard spray, they can really punish you for committing that jump up to the top platforms.
And because of how high up these platforms are, speaking about rock again, if you try and throw out shards, especially with something like Krag down B, that'll cover a lot more area than if it were on a smaller platform as well. So that's something else to keep in mind too. And it also means that...
Jet going off.
Oh my goodness. And right there, Jet going for the cheeky dash dances. He'll do that. He'll just kind of run up, do like a dash back, maybe another dash back as well, and then he'll just come up and get you. He's very good at kind of sussing out what your habits are. Oh, it doesn't quite kill.
Unfortunate to say, but he does edge cancel. I mean, that's one thing as well.
Like right there, look at what Jet did. He was just kind of chilling around SNC. SNC, of course, expecting some sort of offensive option, but none came out.
Yeah, can't whiff punish a move that didn't come out, can you?
Yeah, exactly. As Gabe, one of our most notorious players in Australia, one of his famous techs being the frame zero tech, do nothing.
Do nothing,
which is exceptional. And Jet is
very much
great
exceptional.
at making use of that. Ooh, doesn't
nice
kill.
Purple. But yeah, the purple, the galaxy screen not always telling of an actual kill because it doesn't take into account the tech and all that.
Very close game right now. Well, yeah, I say close, but I just realized the stock count.
Yeah, stock count, yeah. SNC is down one stock.
Ooh, they're going down so low. I mean, he can afford to do that as well, considering he's got an extra stock to play with.
Yeah, can definitely play more risky here just to see if we can suss out the reward and kill early, but SNC does
nice clean fed there to get that stock.
Yeah.
It's not looking too good for SNC. This is precisely a percent that, as a Rasta player, you want Frag to be. But Jet looking for, like, trying to fish right now for those smash attacks. Ooh, so close right now. Jet just taking control of center stage. And SNC just making use of quick jabs, and there we go.
And that's the upbeat from Jet, the classic, really. Something that he's very well known for, just to use upbeat and just kill you outright.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, what a set we just saw. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. So right here, of course, we are on Merchant Port. And we can just see how consistent Jet can be in some of these situations. Well, I say consistent, and then he immediately upbeats like that. Nice. And just kind of being nice and patient, and this is what I was talking about. He'll just wait there, wait for the optimal time to approach. There's another
getting all those kills with the fairs up airs leading into the S5.
This is what I mean as well. Like, both players can just come from nowhere and clean up with the stock. And right there, of course, set winner. Oh man. Okay. Let me just get myself set up, and then we can take a nice cheeky look at bracket.
Yeah, and I saw the chat talking about Moobot, and yeah, we do currently have an Twitch Absa skin giveaway currently going. We have already announced.
Yeah, so in between the break, well, during the break, we did actually give away some Twitch Absa skins. So if you haven't received any sort of DMs yet, stay tuned. We are going to be doing another one later on in the stream.